Last, let's talk about dotted rhythms. Remember that a dot adds half the value of whatever comes before it, which usually ends up with some sort of grouping of 3, as well as a remainder of 1, so that we have our even number. So if we were to do this with a half note, we know we'd have a dotted half note, which would be 3 counts long, 1, 2, 3, and then our remainder for a measure of 4, 4 would be 1 count. If we move down one level, we would have our dotted quarter note, which would be the same as 3 eighth notes long, plus a 4th eighth note to round it out to an even number. So if we look at the proportions there, again, we've got 3 to 1. Ta, ta, or T-E-E-T. If we go down one further level, we would have our dotted eighth note, and that is almost always beamed to a single 16th note. This might look a little strange, having only half of a beam for our 16th note, but that's the proper way to notate it. So now we've got 3 quarter notes to 1 quarter note, 3 eighth notes to a single eighth note, 3 16th notes with our dotted eighth single beam over to our single 16th note double beam. So for counting this lowest level, in counting we would use 1 E and a. So 1 E and is our group of 3, and then the comes at the end of the grouping. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Sometimes when I sing Happy Birthday, I think of that rhythm. Happy birthday, happy birthday. So we've got our single quarter note, which is broken up into 4 16th notes, and our dotted eighth 16th note fits into the same time span as a single quarter note. We've got our dotted eighth, which is the same as 3 16th notes long, and then we have our 4th 16th note, which should line up at the very end of that single beat. A few examples of this dotted eighth 16th rhythm in action. You've got number 84 in your book, O Tannenbaum, or the English translation, O Christmas Tree. O Christmas tree, O Christmas tree. So that's a good example from your book. John Williams tends to use these types of rhythms in his music a lot. If you know the theme from Star Wars and you think to kind of the middle part of that, dun da 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 da. 4 a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I think John Williams also uses it at the beginning of Superman. Dun da 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 da. So there's another instance where that kind of dotted 8th, 16th fanfare really works well for introducing some of the characters in movie music too.